Welcome fam to another YouTube video. Today's topic is a Q&A about nutrition. This is a very important video because I'm going to be answering questions that I received from you guys on my Instagram story, and I believe these are things that are the foundation to having an overall healthy lifestyle. So let's get started with the first question. What is the best diet to lose weight or lose fat? There is a very important thing we have to understand here. Every single diet that you find on the internet works. Every diet is gonna do what it's supposed to do, what it's intended to do. For example, if you want to lose weight, you can follow a very low carb diet. Will it work? Yes. It'll get you down so many pounds if you stick to it. If you want to gain weight and you follow, let's say, a high carb diet or a dirty bulk diet, will you gain weight? Of course, you're gonna gain weight. Now, there are things that we have to consider when we pick diets, because even though they work, they might not be the most appropriate for you. What I'm saying is, if for example, I have a problem with my blood sugar, and I follow a very high carb diet consisting of a lot of refined sugars like white bread, white pasta, rice, etc. Then I'm gonna have some issues because I'm not gonna be able to sustain that diet for the recommended amount of time. On the other end, I can be a person that has problems with cholesterol. And let's say I found this diet to help me lose weight, and it's the keto, which is a very high fat diet, very low carb. Will I get the most benefits out of this diet? Well, the case is not so good, because I am at high risk of developing cardiovascular problems if I follow that diet, knowing that I have some issues already with my cholesterol. So are you getting an idea of how this works? So my answer to the question of what is the best diet is this. I know for a fact that following a diet, whichever it is going to get you temporary results. Why? Because these diets are meant to be followed by a very specific amount of time. It is very short term. My personal opinion is, instead of following one of those specific diets, is to set your own eating plan consisting of a balanced distribution of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. When you understand that you do not have to neglect certain foods or avoid certain foods, and you can eat everything in moderation and within a specific target of macros, you're going to be more likely to enjoy a healthy lifestyle. The next question is, do I need to count calories? Here is my answer. You do if you are very strictly planning on competing for like a bodybuilding show, or if you have already been experienced enough to know what macronutrients are, to know the benefits of each macronutrient, and if you have enough experience organizing your meals and cooking and meal prepping and doing all of these things. In that case, go ahead, count your calories. If, let's say, you are a total beginner and you are trying to get into a healthier lifestyle, will you count calories and not feel overwhelmed? The answer is no. Okay? Counting calories can take a lot of time, especially when you are starting out. Therefore, I'm usually not a big fan of recommending my clients counting calories if they haven't had an experience like meal prepping. They haven't had a lot of knowledge on what foods to eat, what sources of protein there are, what sources of carbs, what sources of fats, and also understanding how their body processes these foods and also the caloric value of each macronutrient. If you do not have that knowledge yet, what I always recommend is to start seeing the portion of your plates. That's the best and most basic start. So if, let's say, you are trying to build muscle, okay, actually I'm going to pick the example of losing weight. Most people want to lose weight and look better. So instead of counting calories, what you can do is you start looking at your plate and what are you putting on that plate. If, let's say, you are eating lunch and you have half of your plate full of pasta and rice, and on the other side you have, let's say, a piece of bread and maybe some vegetables on there. If you look at that plate and it's mainly carbohydrates, okay, that should tell you that you're not eating in a balanced way. In order to be balanced, you would have to have a little bit of each macronutrient on your plate. So instead of having half of my plate full of carbs, maybe I can have a third of rice or sweet potatoes or pasta, and then 1/3 of a source of protein. It can be chicken, steak, fish, and then on the other third I'm going to have some vegetables or some fruits, whatever you want. So that right there. Oh, and one more thing, maybe on the center add a small portion of a healthy fat, something like an avocado, something like maybe a tablespoon of oil spread on top of your meat, or it can be some almonds that you can eat on the side, or it can be something else like peanut butter, etc. So when you start thinking about looking at your plate and making sure that you find every macronutrient on there, you're gonna be already getting a very nice start on improving your nutrition. How can I improve my sleep and stress management? The reason why I like this question is because it relates to nutrition. And I'm going to tell you a little story to illustrate this point that I'm going to make. Last semester when I was in school, I was consuming a lot of caffeinated drinks. I was maybe consuming 200 milligrams or so on a daily basis. That was like maybe a can of Monster or maybe like a pre-workout every single day, right? Now this regular consumption of caffeine started to disrupt my sleep patterns and also caused some side effects like irritability, lack of patience, lack of focus, and just overall less calmness and peace with anything that I would be doing. I would just feel desperate right away. So nutrition can play a big role in managing your stress levels and also allowing you to sleep better. So what I did this year on January 1st, 2020 was to stop completely the consumption of caffeine. And let me tell you that I haven't felt better ever, okay? I am able to sleep right on time. I am able to maintain my composure a lot better. I'm not like rushing. I'm not like getting irritated quicker. I just feel more calm. The only thing that I do consume is a pre-workout right before I go to the gym, but that's it. Like during the day, I'm not relying on caffeine to keep me alert and awake. So if that's something that is happening with you and you find yourself consuming a lot of carbonated drinks with caffeine or maybe over consumption of coffee, try reducing the amounts that you consume and then start letting your body bring back that inner energy system. Because our bodies, whenever you start adding things to it to promote energy, it is going to stop producing its natural energy. And you're going to have to rely on these chemicals and these foods and these nutrients to keep you like alert. And that was my personal experience. I honestly would recommend that you try it out and let me know how you like it. As far as food goes and sleep, what I don't recommend is that you have a large meal right before you go to bed, because whenever your stomach is full and your body's trying to digest all of this, it is going to impair your sleep at night. You may wake up a couple of times a night or so. So instead, have a light meal. Like if you know you're gonna go to sleep within the next 2 hours, just have something small. Maybe a salad, maybe a sandwich or something like that. But don't have like a full, heavy, large meal full of fat, full of carb, full of protein, because that is going to affect the quality of your rest. And the next question says, I am new to this whole nutrition thing. How can I begin? So my best tip for anyone who is just starting out is to stop looking around to see what diets people are following, what other people are eating. Instead, just focus on learning about macronutrients. That's like the most basic thing you can do. Learn about your food, learn about what you consume. And by that I mean learning about reading the nutritional labels on a product. If you have a product on hand, start by looking at the label and see, okay, this cereal contains this amount of carbs, proteins, and fats per serving. Is this something that I want? If you already have a goal in mind, let's say you want to lose weight, and you're looking at this nutritional label and you see that it's, wow, okay, super high in sugar, super high in fat, that is going to be counterproductive for your own goal. So when you start learning about the nutritional labels and the macronutrient of every food that you buy, you're going to start making wiser choices. The next question is, what supplements do you recommend for losing weight? The answer is, before supplements, what I recommend is that you prioritize your nutrition, that you have a plan. Once you have a plan and you're eating regularly clean, then you can start adding supplements like caffeine, green tea, BCAAs, and protein powders, of course. But starting out, just figure out your nutrition, figure out what you need, learn about foods and what they do to your body for a specific goal, and then go from there. But don't rely on buying a bunch of supplements at first, because you might waste your money. Believe it or not, drinking these supplements are not going to be a quick fix. It's not going to give the results that you want right off the bat. They work in conjunction with a clean nutrition and also a very strict and regimented weight training program. Question is, how can I meal prep on Sundays without taking up so much time of my day, and also keeping in mind that I have a very busy lifestyle? Okay, great question. So as far as meal prepping goes, I think the best thing to do is to get organized with your time. When you can manage your time efficiently and you can dedicate your energy to one task at a time, you can be way more productive. And by being more productive, you can be also more efficient with the time that you spend meal prepping. So in my case, I am also a very busy person. Right now, I am a full-time student and I'm at school from 8 some days to 4 or 5. It depends. But I'm also very busy, right? Monday through Friday. So what I do is on Sundays, actually on Saturdays, I buy my groceries, sometimes on Sundays as well. But I buy my groceries, maybe it takes me an hour or so to finish everything. And then I come home and I already have a mental plan of what I'm gonna be cooking. So that way it only takes me maybe 2 to 2.5 hours at the most to make all the food for the entire week. The way I think I'm very efficient with my meal prep is that I cook all the meats first, because that's what takes the longest. So I have certain stations where I cook chicken on one side, red meats on the other, and then fish on the other if I'm cooking those meats. And once that's done, I take it out, I start putting them in the container, and then I cook all my carbs. So I have rice, I have vegetables, I have pasta. I cook all of that, and then I finish and I put it on the containers. And then last but not least, I have to clean everything up because I don't want to leave dishes dirty or anything like that. So by doing one thing at a time, you tend to get less overwhelmed and you're more efficient with the entire process of meal prepping. To me, like, that's been working fine. I'm more productive than I used to be before, because I found that before I was trying to meal prep and then I was also trying to do something in my computer or clean the apartment at the same time. And so those distractions, those transitions from one thing to the next wasted a lot of my time. And also using your phone, like if you get distracted on your phone as you're cooking, you're more than likely going to expand that 2 hours to maybe 3 or 3.5 hours, taking more time than expected. So try that out, just figure out your schedule, plan accordingly, and just get things done without getting distracted. As simple as it gets. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I would greatly appreciate if you can leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to the channel, because I have more good content coming up, which I'm sure is going to bring you so much value. And I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.